Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everyone. MissNatasha Connects here from the CreateDon'tHate Show. I'm happy to be with you today. I'm just elated on speaking about mental wellness and meeting with people like this lovely gentleman here. Thank you for watching. And to get started, I have three words that I thought of when I initially asked uh, this gentleman, Isack, to come on the show. So before he introduces himself, I'm going to read the words. Oh, okay. The first one is driven. The second one is dedicated.
That's good.
The third one is thankful. And I have actually more than one. Community oriented and unapologetic. So I'd love if Isack can please introduce himself to all of you today.
All right. Thank you, Natasha, for having me. By the way, we connected on the networking event that evening back in, I believe, last year, somewhere around September or something like that. And my name is Isack Ghebreyesus. I'm from Toronto. My office is in Toronto. I'm a financial professional, and I'm also financial literacy crusade. And I um, everybody gives fair chance when it comes to their money, and they need better understanding, better use of their money, because that's what I found out when I came 9 years ago to this country, beautiful country. And I knew I came for opportunity, but when I look around me, the people that I ask, I was not getting the answers that I want. And I said, you know what, why not I step in and get my own answers. So that's what I joined financial education, financial literacy, and I become financial professional. And that's what I do for the past. By the way, I joined right after I came in 7 years. So 7 months after I started, I get my first layoff on May 2017. I came August 2016. That's how I said I got to do something as I'm getting to work, getting to school. I got to do something. Then it become part of my life. This is what I do now. I'm a financial professional.
Living, breathing, and just helping others with their numbers.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I will get started. Did the industry, well, you did answer a little bit of this, but did the industry you are in choose you, or did you choose the industry?
Well, I always been like back in home too. We had a farm, and like we had a small farm that came from my grandfather's side, and we had a bigger farm that my dad used to do it for business. So I used to take care of the small farm as little as I was 14, 15. And that was something that I did when I was young. And it's very normal to work when you're young. And I'm the one who was selling and paying the employees and stuff for some time when a very young age. So when I first came in here, it was for me was very tragic to be an employee when I first came in. So I never had a job. I had few years when I was in Sudan, but when coming here, it's a little bit different, and I think everybody accepts it when they come to North America working for somebody. But for me, it was different. By the way, one of my friends told me, "Hey, Isaac, why not go see this presentation? Maybe you can do something. You're not working right now." And I said, "Sure." Then I went and I start right on, and I think I don't know why I joined, but I know why I stayed, and that's so because I discover I start reading books. After that, I read, I don't know how many books I read in a year. I read a lot of books when it comes to personal development and finance, because I find I think and I chose to stay, and not I was not chosen to start, but I chose to stay. When I fell in love with personal development, reading books, and also sharing your knowledge, it become more interesting, and people get help when you say something. And that's what I said, you know what, uh, let me be that person that can talk and help people. And I stick, I don't know, 7 years almost plus now.
What I love is that you stick with not only numbers but culture. And I say that by saying that even in everything that you do, you make sure to never forget. and also to assist other people within your space, your cultural sphere, to build up and build out.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's just like I gotta talk with him. I had to. And I've been on a financial journey since young, but since 2015, 2017, I really started to go like this, put my blinders on, and fix what was broken. So I'm thoroughly on this journey. I'm thoroughly invested, and I'm learning so much even just by speaking with persons like yourself, listening to people like Myron Golden, um, and just like and Dave Ramsey,
Yeah,
and
around
just
there.
like putting those blinders on and not caring about anything else but bringing down debt and bringing in cash flow so then I can be able to invest.
That's very good goal. By the way, I find it out very interesting when I came here. It's there's access to money, but most people use it for the wrong stuff, and that's why people are like not unhappy, not satisfied. Side. The- I love that because when I came to business, you struggle and in your business, so you can help more people. You know how to manage it. But some people, unfortunately, more jobs, more money coming in, more struggle. People need to do a little bit better when it comes to their finance. It's basic thing, rule of thumb. You're making, don't spend it all. Start with that. You're making money, don't spend it all. The second is what? You're spending, but also don't forget paying yourself. Then it will come on. Do not spend what you don't have. Let's say I tell people when you use your credit card, you're using it because you have money in your saving account to pay for it. So that's easier to kind of, navigate it. But it's very simple. But unfortunately, we live in a capitalist. They feed on debt and they feed on people. And we need to kind of do better on that. But if you don't understand it, it's our fault. So not there.
It's true. And taking accountability. When I used to call the debtors, I would have had a chip on my shoulder.
Mhm.
And I realized that this is my fault. So let's try to work together. I didn't know about you can call them and make arrangements.
Yeah, you can.
You can call them, you could tell them I cannot do this, but I could do this. Let's make arrangements, put it in writing, bring it, send it to me, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
You know?
possible they can do that. And by the way, there's one thing that last time I was helping someone, there's so much debt in it, so they can't afford to pay. So guess what? When you miss the payment, bank increase the rate. Then we call and they say, hey, you know what? This guy's struggling, this. You know what they did? They dropped the interest from 27 to 5% for the whole year.
What? What?
Yeah,
Never heard that
you can
before.
do that. But you need to go, I'm struggling, but I wanted to pay it off, but I need a break. They dropped from 27 to 5 for the whole year.
A year?
Yeah. They drove it for a whole year, 5%.
Sorry. I that's like unfathomable.
Yeah, they can do a lot of stuff. That's why it's you need to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get anything. You need to ask because the death is as long as you give them the money, they're okay with that. But if you stay quiet, if you're struggling, don't stay quiet. You have to talk that time. If you're good, you don't have to talk. But if you're struggling, you need to tell them, hey, I cannot pay. I need help with this for next 6 months, 1 year. Ask them, can you waive the interest even? They will say like, oh, it's not possible. Usually the customer service job is to let you go faster. But if you
Yes.
go to the helpline, they will call you, hey, this is your expenses, this, they'll tell you, okay, then we have this program. But they will tell you, oh, don't use your credit card for the next 12 months, but you can use another credit card. That's why in this country, we have so many credit cards nowadays.
Yeah.
But no effect to your credit score, nothing. You're not making no mispayment. Probably your payment drops from 400, it goes to like 98 or $88 a month.
World of knowledge in here. You have a world of knowledge. And I hope you all are listening, because if we don't empower each other, we will never win. If you the way you're sharing this information, this is like winning information. And
Mhm.
someone out there is going to be helped and
Of course.
assisted.
And
All right, let's get going. um, and you did answer this before, but I will put it out there again and also add the second question. Or the third question. What made you gravitate to the company you're in or create the company you have? And did you go to college or university for your present position?
well, and back in home, I had a good GPA to go to college after high school, but I left when I was 17. I came when I was 21. Went to high school again, had good marks also. I was a scholar when in school, and I was supposed to go, but I find out then I don't have to go to school to get my license. Uh, then I didn't go. That's why I did when I was in high school. Actually, I studied the same time. While I was in high school, I studied and get my license at the same time. I was going to school, working full time, and get my license at the same time. Then what happened is I dropped school after because I finished high school. That's gone. Then slowly I replaced my income from my job. Then 2020, when everybody got hit with COVID, I stopped. Why I do what I do as with the company that I am is the one thing we do is 30 by 30. We have financial literacy campaign. So we want to educate 30 million family by 2030. So who are these people? These are the people that uh, I meet. Let's say I put protection in place. Can be critical illness, can be life insurance, can be their kids saving, it can be their retirement, it can be help them to get out of debt, maybe to pay off their mortgage faster, maybe to, get, some arrangements with their finance, maybe to create some discipline. There was a story I sat with a family and young, recently married, and put some kids plan in place. Then 3 months after, I called them again. I said, like, how you guys doing? Good, good. And yeah, everything's okay. I asked them, do you guys save? And they both laugh. I tell them, this is that's not a problem. You guys are laughing now, but it's going to be a problem after in 2, 3 years from now because there'll be debt to pay off. And maybe one of you is overspending, the other one is not spending, so he has to pay somebody's debt, or clash comes in between. Then they look at me, they told me what we can do. I tell them, okay, you both work, yeah. You have child tax benefit coming, yeah. So can we do like $17 a day,
Mm,
which is $34 a day in both? They said, sure. You know that number comes to $500 a month,
mm,
$1,000 in between of them.
mm,
So we start putting that, and I met them 8 months after. They tell them, hey, how you guys doing? We're doing fine. Nothing happened. I said, good. Then the wife was the one who was not wanted to do it, but she said, can we increase $100 because this is how it's we actually have more money here than we have in our bank account. So why I chose it is because it's it's practical and what I do with families, and it can be small. It can be like, let's say, instead of $300 saving a month, it's like 75 a week.
right.
Or if it's $400 a month, do it weekly. So you see it going. So instead of eating outside, all this, it gone because you're doing weekly. You're accomplishing more in 1 month. You're doing 4 things at 1 month. So that's why when I structure people, this guy tell me like, you're still taking $400 from me. I said, good, but it's manipulative, but you're saving more. It's for good things. That's why
Mhm.
now, when you tap those credit cards, it's easier. But when you add them, they come a lot. Let's say if somebody is like doing Uber or other things, like if he's tapping his credit card like 10 times a week,
Mhm.
$400.
Mhm.
So those are the things. Why I chose it is because those are the small things that I do, and it's very impactful. People might not see it, but 10, 15 years from now, a lot of people will be seeing a massive growth in their finances if they really
Mhm.
apply and do what we say and what we apply.
I believe it. What skills do you use the least
In what sense?
within your field?
What skill do you use least or most?
Less.
Okay, so that's very because I don't know what I don't use because I think I'm focused on the service side and what I don't use is uh I think I use most of it. I do a lot of reading, especially also I tell my clients to read a lot too because it's not about me, but it's about you. Most of the stuff that what I don't use list is I don't discourage people. That's what I don't do. But I don't discourage. You may put $25 a week towards your saving. A guy who puts $200 $300 a week for you is the same thing because this person who has $25, he has a long way to come and actually they do better in long term. I don't what one thing I don't use, I don't discourage people. I don't That's why I tell them when you come to me, if you have debt, I just smile, I laugh, and I tell them this is the best thing happened to you, so you compose and move forward, you know? It's like a stop for you. So you otherwise, if some people, they never borrow, but they because they make more money, they keep spending, so there is no stop for them. But some people they borrow too much, then it becomes like a stop. It's a clock. You need to stop. So in order to move forward, you need to do some change. So that change actually can actually transform it to completely different life. So what I don't do is I don't discourage people. There was one time I was said with someone, I was like, lost significant amount of money, too much scam and also too much borrowing and stuff. And he told me like crying. I told him, listen, there's nothing wrong here. There's nothing wrong here. You didn't get hurt. You're healthy. Nothing happened to you. This is the best thing happened to you. So you can realize that, you're going the wrong direction. Otherwise, you will never realize it.
Yeah, you don't exactly.
So I said, you realize now. That's what. So one thing I don't use in my profession, which is I don't use in my agents of my clients, is if you want to be discouraged, yeah, do it yourself. But I don't do it most of the time.
Yeah. You're a cheerer. Like you cheer people on in their hard times. And what you were saying is like going to the plastic surgeon and getting all your belly fat gone instead of going to the gym and working out. I think
Mhm.
that's how you're saying it in terms of finances.
Yeah, so I may do it, but you own it. It's yours. You're the one
Yeah,
who have to apply. So it's not me just putting a line on you, but you need to draw the lines, connect the dots. It's you. Like it's you that the one gonna make monthly payments. You're gonna want like annual payments, whatever it is. You're the one who's gonna do it.
yeah.
I am just gonna draw the dots and connect them. They're yours. So I don't get no credit. You are the one who apply and do it.
Wow. Thank you.
No problem.
That's so great because some people they only want the number, like you're the person, the client, the community uh, member is a number, and the way you're speaking is way more than that, and it's because you worked with your family from when you were young. You
Mhm.
understand that value and that hard work that you put in. You're making sure that others understand it too, just in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. All right. How, in your opinion, how does one become great?
Well, a very good question. I always ask myself. So I hear a lot of people say, uh, "I hate my voice." Those people hate their voice. So, in order to be great, you need to create a better connection with yourself. Since I was young, I just say whatever I want to say. So, if it hurts people, let's figure it out after. No problem. Let's talk about it. Like, hey, you said this. Yeah, I'm very selfish when it comes to love myself. That's why I want to help people because I'm very selfish. I know what it feels. I want people to feel the same way. There's a quote says somebody asked Mother Teresa and they said, "Why do you help people?" And she told them like, "I feel what it feels to be hungry." And at the same time, I know what it feels to be on a lane that you want, on a direction that you want. That's why now you go out help people. So in order to be great, first is create connection with yourself. You don't never say anything negative about yourself, regardless how people think about you, regardless how the banks how treat you, regardless how much debt you have, regardless how bad relationship you have, how bad your marks are, whatever other it is. Like greatness is realization of your own, thinking. It's like no one is built as a Natasha, no one is built as an Isack. It's like we're different. So that's why now you see a boxer comes in from somewhere very remote, that no connection, no because that person realized it and said like, I'm going to be a champion one day, and it comes, but you need to realize it. But also, you don't have to have a wishful thinking. You need to be like, write them down and write it and run for it. It's like nobody came by accident. If I never had the license, if I never went to that meeting, if I never listened to those mentors, if I never read those books, never came to the events, meetings, networking event that actually helped me to meet you, we would never have been there. So it's like a process. Like there's nothing called one line. There are many lines that you need to connect, but you need to be available to connect those lines on your own life. So it's most of the time people say like, hey, like what's one thing? There's one thing. There are so many things that you need to connect, but you need to have a courage for yourself. Hey, Isack, one more line. One more line. There's a book called One More. If you heard about Ed Milet, there's one of mentors, and Ed Milet. So he says his dad used to be a drug addict. So the way he quit was he said like one more day, like I want to stay one more day, so one more day sober. And he helped a lot of people. He tell them just go one more day, don't worry about it. Like don't go about 10 years, don't worry about 10 years. That just go one more day. You wake up, oh, only today, only today, only today. So that's how it is. It's courage that otherwise there's always pressure in life, especially it can be woman, man, whatever it is, it can be family, it can be all other things. But in order to be great, it's not your family, it's not your environment, it's you actually. You can pick up and do the things that you want. So it's greatness, I say, is a realization of your own self. Then that's how you come out, from in out, not from outside in. So it's possible, but we need to realize it.
I hope y'all are listening to Isack today. Woo!
All right.
Oh. Could you imagine if you said no? You just said,
Yeah. That.
Wow. Okay, let me stay on track here. But that was like amazing. Okay. And this question again, throughout this whole thing, you've already answered it. But I know you're gonna have something great with this. How are you of service to others?
Say it again.
How are you of service to others?
Well, that's. I mean, you talk about the impact of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. It's one thing. It's service to others is it's sharing the things that they can do themselves, not what you can do for them, but what they can do for themselves. Let's say, as a financial professional, I don't tell them how to use my income. I tell them how to use their income. So service to others means, for me, uh, I'm not fan of donations if it's not required, if it's necessarily, because I believe people, they can do better when they realize they can, and they will, and they do actually most of the time. And then I believe there are some people are deserving for donations, but most people living in North America, we live in a good system where there is access to money, there's access to work, and anytime you can go back from zero to. So my job is what? My service is you understanding your own finances, and you understanding. For me, I was thinking yesterday, I sell millions of life insurances, like can be critical, it can be life, it can be saving, all these things. I sell a lot of it, and I'm in like for like I'm running the whole year. I don't stop. So I was sitting and thinking, how much wealth I'm going to transfer to these families, let's say 15, 20 years, because there is a lot of tragedy will happen. That's my service. My service is not giving 1,500 bucks whatever when it happens. My service is there'll be 100 millions of wealth of transfers going to happen, especially in my community and the Black community that mostly I serve. There is going to be like a big, huge wealth transfer. That's why most of the time we wonder, where's the money coming from? The money is coming from the generation in front of you. It goes to the generation that's going to go forward, and it's going to continue. Then there's going to be millions of tax-free money. That's my service to the community. For me, it's like I don't believe on like I don't believe all those, there's a lot of movements that they bring as Black History Month, all these things, this. I feel some of the movements are victimized, and for me, I take a charge of my own thing. Racism is not gonna stop. All other things, the history is not gonna stop. I'm not gonna ask someone who his grandpa did something to me. I'm not gonna ask for that. You know what I'm gonna ask for my time that I'm here, that what I will do with my own time and what I'm going to do with my own community. That's what I ask for myself. I don't really entertain them because I believe we're asking backwards instead of going asking forward with our own time. So that's what my service is, what thinking forward of what the things that we can do better, not the things that we have lost in history or other things. That's why for me I focus on the Black community first, that and any community, any person that needs my service, it doesn't matter your color, your background, your comment, your financial situation. That's my service, encouraging you to understand your own finances. Then, but I will give you one thing for you. I'll give responsibility for your own family to transfer the same message. That's my service to you, because giving you the understanding now and in the future. Thank you.
Wow.
All right, we're crushing it.
I'm just so blessed because I'm learning, but also we're helping and showing other people that there are others out there. Don't look to the past. Go forward in it. Accept it. Change it. One step at a time.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. What do you do to demonstrate that you're most grateful?
Well, one thing, being grateful is it doesn't mean having no problems.
Mm,
And we all have problems. I don't share my problems with people. Like, and I share my affirmations. I share my courage. I share my goals, and who want to be inspired. So my being grateful is as don't be miserable on the streets. When you're driving, don't be miserable when you're helping somebody. Do it with even if you may borrow to pay for somebody, but be grateful because at least you have credit card to use. Uh, you're driving on the road, so it's snowy, but at least you have a good car. Or the things that you don't have. Being grateful means don't demand it from others. Look at on you that what you can provide, and it's being grateful is being you. It's like the perfect you, but understanding people have problems, understand people are from where they're coming, and try to help, not to take most of the time. And gratitude is, it's I see people, I met people, great people who make good money,
mhm.
good money, and well, when I talk to them, they have more problems. When you become friends, sometimes also they want to inspire. They tell you, hey, come down, let's sit down, and they show you certain things that they struggle. So your struggle, it means it's almost nothing. So that's why now being grateful is, even if one guy may seem successful, but he struggled more than you. He may have health issues, other things, but he may afford to be in a certain condition because he did well for himself. So being grateful is uh, I don't envy nobody. If you have, good for you. If you don't have, let me help you. So I don't envy nobody. That's my gratitude. I have fun with everywhere I go. If I go to have fun, I'm having fun. If I go to work, I'm working, and that's showing my gratitude to the world. And I'm born. Life is very short, so I don't want to be miserable. So life is short.
Thank you. That's so powerful. Everything you're saying is so powerful, but again, who would have thunk so much um knowledge can come from a numbers guy? They say the numbers guy, but you're much more than that. You're much more than that. And when you bring it from the heart and the mind, and then you mix it up with some good old fashioned, you can do this. It's just not. It's just like I have something on here because I won a pitch contest and I was like, wow, I did that. And it says, you can do this. Keep going. You are going to do great things.
Of course,
I
you
just
can.
wrote that on the check because if I ever forget, I need, like, again, it's raining outside. If I ever forget, I'm going to look at those things and get get my butt out there.
Of course, very important. Affirmation is very important, and I have something in my wall says I put it 8 9 years ago, and it says burn the ships down. You know, you're never gonna come back. I said there's nothing called you're never gonna come back. You just
Ooh.
so it's gonna get hard. It's gonna get you're gonna get lost. You're gonna go do all this thing. But one thing is what it's just be grateful whatever you are. You may then it is what it is. So you cannot change the situation that you're in. You cannot change it. You cannot reverse it, but you can change it. So that's the power that you have. That's called power of now, and you can move forward with whatever you have. And there was one thing that I have in here. It's one of great book practice book says paradigm shift. He says whatever situation you are, you can change it.
Mm-hmm.
He said when he met with Andrew Carnegie or one of his coach, and they told him, "Hey, what do you want to do?" He said, "Like, I want to make money. How much?" It's 25 a month, 25,000 a month. This is back long time ago. And he said he wrote down. He said he started reading it every day, and he says it happened like in a spin, fast. It's because, of course, sometimes you may not have the resources, right? It will take you longer time, but you need to be patient. That's the time that you can do it. You will, but can you afford to, be grateful while the hard time, all this? It's like when it passes, So that's why now sometimes get sucked in. It's like a sponge. You put water, it gets sucked in, but when you put so much water, you can see it moving. That there's water in it. Same time when people get through a lot of times, when even if you tweak them, they tell like, I know that thing. I know that thing. I tried it. So you're trying now something I did 10, 15 years ago. So if you do it this way, it will be better for you. So that's why now those affirmation words and stuff is not something that we do, but it's been working. That's why I tell people that don't put something in your living room that makes you miss your mom that passed away a long time ago. You miss them, but put something that inspires you. When you look to your living room, you see something that makes you look for, not for past, but something from the future.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some adjustments that we need to make with the living room, all these places. So every time we see, we cannot run away from them. You just read it again.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that, Natasha.
You're welcome. Like the 4 agreements. I put the piece of paper when I was younger on the wall, and then I found the letters, the sticky letters, and I put all the 4 agreements on my wall. So then every time I got up, left, whatever, I'm seeing it in the living room, and it did help.
Of course it
It
does.
really did ground the mind.
Of course
Mm-hmm.
it does. It does work. So positive things will work. Whatever you give your mind, right? It is what it circulates around. So
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
very important.
And the next question, do you have meaningful relationships and how do you nourish them?
Well, I do have a lot of relationships with people, not like it's like partner side, but I
Mhm.
do have a lot of relationship when it comes to business, to too demanding, and I'm always busy. So I think if you want to have healthy relationship, you got to be busy. You got to be and out of you may talk about certain things, but remember it's not you don't know everything, and you will never know everything. So give people freedom to whatever. It can be your clients, it can be your friends, family members, whatever the relationship that you have. Allow them to do whatever they wanted to do, and but you can always say something. But
Mhm.
you're not obligated to do it, or they're not obligated also to accept it. So relationships are usually, if they're not based on demand and supply, they tend to work better, because everybody's trying to do best, which is when you come, you do great together because everyone's trying to do his best. But when there is a demand and supply, usually those are the time that where problems comes in, because you didn't give me this, you didn't give me that, or it's like mm, I love recognition,
Mhm.
but we have too many recognitions here in this country, and it's upsetting people, because like you forget one of the other.
Mhm.
So I don't involve, because where I came from, we don't really do those things. Most of the stuff, we don't not this. People celebrate it. It's good to create occasion if you're a busy guy to create that environment, but I'm not from there, and I don't really entertain it. I don't entertain a lot about Christmas, what they do with the things. I
Mhm.
don't feel Christmas I have to buy something to connect with somebody.
Mhm.
I'll take him a nice dinner if he wants to. If I like him to spend time with me, I'll take him to a good place to sit and, have fun and eat and maybe nourish the body, proper food. But I'm not gonna go um, do things that most people wanted to do, but don't have time to look after it.
Mhm.
So relationships are usually I believe we lost. I still do handwriting on the cards. I'm
Mhm.
the guy that does those things. I write when Christmas time come in or somebody's birthday. All I do is I write card.
Yeah.
So I think the more simple we are, the better it is, because people who ever went stay once a minute, they will stay. They're not gonna go anywhere. So I think in order to maintain, for me, that helps me is I do give small things for my clients, but I tell them this is business side. For me, it's a tax write-off. You don't need to give me anything. I tell them straight up. I tell them it's from your advisor, it's to the client. I tell like, you're not allowed to give me. I tell them we're not allowed to accept stuff from people because
Mm.
it's like, it's something that you're doing it because you can and you will. So
Mhm.
for you is a reason so to go see them sometime. But uh I think it relationship, if it's more based on giving
Yeah.
on a free will, is better than, it can be given means not necessarily the stuff, even opinions.
Mm.
Ideas. When you give it from free will, people like, I would do it if it was you. I would do it this way. People accept it. If you tell them, do this, if you tell your son, do this, it's gonna say like, mom, leave me alone.
Yeah.
How about if you do it this way? He'll say like, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Relationships usually require a better vocabulary, and also it's more, it comes when it's more genuine, you can maintain and retain better on a long
It's
relationships.
true. It's true. All right. What have you done for yourself in the last month?
In what sense? And like in what part?
I guess something relaxing. I guess something outside of work.
Yeah, well, for me, I like to go. There are some things that I do is I'm working most of the time. So what I did was, and I turned 30 on last month on the 28th. So
Yeah.
I turned off my phone whole day and I was out somewhere else.
Yay! You're February like me. Mine was 21st.
Yeah, I'm 28.
Yay!
So yeah, so I stay away from work. Like I can't stay, but I stay from work. I enjoy what I do. So usually but I was away, and there's some friends come in also. We went to somewhere, to have fun, and I like to party when I have time.
Yay!
So it's something that I do, but uh, I do it once in a while, and it's good. It helps me to. I like dancing.
Yeah, unwind and
Yeah,
just let your hair don't let your hair down,
yeah,
Yeah, that's so nice. I asked that question because again, other people do all sorts of things.
yeah.
I'd like to know what. I'd like to know what so I can fine tune my own way. So I was supposed to go to the art gallery to see the hip hop um exhibit, but I'm gonna do it next week. So that's what I'm gonna do for myself. Because I didn't do anything for my birthday. So next week I'm gonna go to the art gallery.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm a soccer fan, so I go a lot of parties. So
Yeah. Woo. So good, so good, so good, so
it's
good.
Toronto, yeah.
So goes wonderful. Okay, I'm good. All right. Um, two more questions and then we're done. In your opinion, excuse me, how do you maximize your return on your time?
Well, I did a lot of educational stuff earlier in my career. So not, by the way, it's the past 3 years. These are like most productive of my whole career. It's because I did a lot of reading. It's because when you speak with a client, it should be easier for you to communicate. And the other thing that I find out, people talk about distraction, right? Guess distraction comes from lack of target. If you have a target, you're not going to use your phone, regardless how many apps you have. Regardless how many apps, you're not going to go there. If you have 6 appointments a day, you're not going to even flip your phone because one after another are coming. So that's why now I said, if I create focus, before I used to delete apps, and people do, like, people quit drinking, they come back because all they do is they quit drinking. You need to put something in place to replace it. If you have 2 hours extra, why not replace it, maybe 2 meetings in there, so you don't have to go there on your phone. But that's why I said, imagine before I used to work somewhere and I never use my phone because I have to work for them and they're not allowed to use phone. So because they have a target, I need too much before that my A shift finish. So that's why I said, to maximize your time. What I maximize is, all I do is, one is I set reminders. I'm always old school. I don't have a notebooks in my thing. I write down the day before. Even if it's ugly, I still write down. It's still my handwriting. I can read it. And the other thing is, I create focus for myself, even if I don't hit it. So I usually create a bigger focus, so it gives you bigger room to move around. So I say, like, I'm going to have, let's say, 20 clients on a product wise. Then I have to go maybe 100, 120 appointments in a whole month. Then from there, then we're gonna, you can get 20 clients or 40 clients. It depends how you get, or it depends who you talk to. Sometimes you may get nothing too.
Yeah.
So you increase your activity, or you reevaluate your energy too. You go back. So what did you actually, what was your procedure that didn't make you get results? So those are the things. But in order to increase your usage of time, just create target. If you know where you're going, if I'm going to Montreal today, I make sure I leave early. I make sure my car has gas, oil change, everything's good, because I know I'm going to go far. So target actually helps you to stay focused, because imagine if you, like, there was a video, I don't know if you saw it. There was a male, what do you call this? A male lion and the female one. The female one, she was looking. So the animals are passing. The lion comes in, boop, it takes one, because that's the focus. Otherwise, you cannot control everything that goes in your mind, but pick one and work on it. So that's why you become more productive. And you're not going to miss anything if you're focusing on one thing. You're not going to miss anything. The videos that you want to see, they're going to be there. The movies, they're going to be there. The article, whatever you wanted to do, the stuff after, everything's going to be there. But you can do it after you hit your target too. So it's possible.
You're reminding me of the book, The 12-Week Year.
I read it, yeah.
Yeah, because you said something. You said to check in on those goals and targets, you have to come back to see what worked, what didn't. So thank you.
Yeah, I read that on 12 week. Yeah, very, very, very great book.
I'm just loving this. And I'm learning so much about what I need to sharpen. So thank you.
No problem.
I hope that you all out there are taking this in, because it is a wealth of gems that you can uh, you take in and utilize for yourself, and then share it with someone else so they can grow and learn. All right, we're at the last two. All right. Whew. How do you navigate hope?
Great question. And hope is something that it sometimes we live in a West, and what I came from, we're very community oriented. Like, your neighbor is your cousin, or this, and we live in very enclosed environments. So usually there is no room for like bad stuff to kick in, because everybody's watching. Unfortunately, now we live in a West, which is nobody cares, but everybody want to be taken care. So everybody wants them to their stuff to be done fast, all these things. But when it comes to people, nobody cares. Everybody says, I don't care. So how do you navigate hope? It's one thing is, I start to just, I read, I don't know, have you ever read The Power of Subconscious Mind?
I listened to some of it.
Yeah. So some of the stuff that says there's a difference between, your mind doesn't know whether you're stressed or thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, regardless how the problem is, I can always go to sleep. So I can always go to sleep. And there's some stuff, some there are some stuff that bugs you too much, but most of the time, I don't think tomorrow is gonna get worse. That's why most people they say, oh, last year was good, 5 years ago, living in Toronto was cheap, blah, blah, blah. But I don't believe it's true to some extent. But I think if you've been living in this city for a long time, also you probably didn't do better, so you're struggling. You know, you got to make some adjustments too. It comes with the income, all these things. Hope is not empty thing, but you can hope, but you gotta also work to what you're hoping for. You know, yeah, you gotta like grind. You know, you cannot just say like, oh, next year is gonna get better. What? Because what you did, what is gonna get better? What did you do to make it better? Like how many networks did you make? This is one I was thinking. There was a same event that we met. There was a name called Richard, and he's a real estate agent. He's a real estate broker. So we did actually a few events with him, and I told him like when I met him, I told him, hey, good to meet you. This year I'm looking for a quality connection. I already have it actually in my book. This guy said like I'm gonna connect with leaders in an industry who can give me, you know, a state to talk, maybe connection to create, wisdom to share. Then I can, you know, I can reach my goals that I'm hoping to reach in 2024, 2025, 2026. Then, and he said, boom, and we connect, we exchange number, we start running events. So hope is something not you can just put blank thing in there. Then you say like nothing happened. No, hope is actually something that you can actually walk in it, work on it. Then you say like this is what I was hoping because I showed up and I worked on it. This is what it is. So sometimes I think it's hope needs to be tied up with work, and so that way it becomes like a valid, like it's like a prayer without work is like what just like you know, is a vague thing. It doesn't exist. You can ask, can pray how many hours you want, but God's not gonna drop money in your bank account. But you can work a deal and pray about it. You can work a deal and hope about it. And somebody will come to catalyze, you know, hey, you know what? I need your service. I like what you do. I've been watching you. You came many times to ask me, and you know, I'll get it now. So those are the things that and I think in and they need to be edified or explained or articulated what actually hope is something that you want, but also something that you're working toward. So
I
that's one thing I'm trying to explain. Yeah. Thank you, Natasha.
to
Good question.
hope. I used to hope a lot, but now I hope with vigor
That's it.
and
With work.
and elbow grease. And it's been opening up my reach, just like what
Mhm.
you said, because I didn't just wish for it. I worked.
Yeah.
Wow. I really appreciate this conversation because it's real. It's real, it's not fake. And anything that you've said, I can practically use, and so can other people. Mhm. All right, the last question I have for you is how do you create instead of hate? And I think you answered it throughout the whole time, but that's the last question.
Great. Yeah. So and it's at the end of the day, you gotta choose something productive. Like, you know, you gotta choose something productive, and which is nobody wants to have a bad life, and nobody should wish a bad life to anybody too. Because it's like it's project from your heart, from your own heart. It belongs to you first before it goes to others. So it's like people may you may feel they may hate, but when you come from a point of production, you come from a point of doing things. Actual people they don't know they hate sometimes.
Mhm.
It just become, you know, it's part of our environment. That's why now in a capitalist world, in order to maximize their profit, in order to maximize their reach, it's negative stuff goes faster because we naturally we're negatively aligned. So that's why you see more like, you know, harassment videos, all these things. You know how many people get married today? A lot of people getting married today. A lot of people met first time today and they're happy, they're talking. You know, a lot of people like, you know, have a child today. They have somebody they wish for, then they had a new name in the family, newborn baby, there's a lot of positive stuff happening. But when you focus on the small things that are happening, that's why people start hating. But if you look at yourself, there was one guy one time, he said, Bob Proctor again, he came into him, asked for consulting, and told him, hey, Bob, I want to blow my mind. You want to die? They told him, sure, you can do, but first get a white paper, let me talk. And he told him, write what good stuff you have, what, something that's going wrong. Then he started writing. He said, I have kids I love, I have wife, I have house, I have business, I have, family, dad, everybody's there. They say, what's wrong happened? Oh, I lost a deal. He told him, like, compare these two things. You shouldn't hate your life because one thing is going wrong, but you have like 1,000 things that's aligned. Let's say I'm driving on the road, right? I'm gonna say like, okay, I'm grateful for the road that somebody built it, so I can drive. Grateful for the light so we can, collaborate to drive. It's like I'm grateful for the highway so I can go fast. Grateful for a gas station everywhere that I can fill gas. I'm not thinking that they're taking my money. I'm thinking that the service that I'm getting.
Yeah.
So if you want to stop hating, see like, what am I actually using for this thing? People think, oh, I'm using gas, it's creating pollution. Yeah, but don't you drive in a car? Don't you make you reach faster from A to B? If you're vegan, no problem, but let me eat, the other stuff that we eat. And if you don't drink, let other people drink. It's like, there are a lot of things that we can accomplish for our own. But when you start looking at what other people are doing, and there was one thing, I'll tell you this, sometimes people put sign when they're driving, they forget about it. And
Oh,
like,
yes.
one time I was like, look at this guy. I was saying like, look at this guy. Then I look at my car, it's the same thing.
Oh, you're hating on this when it's you as well. Oh, yeah, that happens.
Then I said, after that, I said,
Never again.
and never again. Then I just put hank on them so they know, like, become aware. Probably they're talking on the phone, or they're thinking, or they play music. I don't know. Probably they have been fun. They have been the best day of their life. Let's say they're getting somewhere, they blast the music on, but something is forgotten. So it's okay to lack something. So, but don't create that into hate. Create that one like, hey, recognize it and like, kick it. There was a um, Vibes Carter was saying, they were asking him something, says like, what happened after prison? He said, steal from bad energy, steal that time, take it away, control it, if there's bad thing comes into you, steal it, remove it, like take it somewhere. Don't like steal that bad energy, take it away. Wherever it comes to you, yeah, switch it, steal that bad energy, steal that moment, because he said life's too short to, not using your time wisely. And there was a thing that, let me actually read it. There was a thing that I was sending to my friend early morning. It says, own the morning. Do not suffer imaginary troubles,
Imaginary trouble.
So that's fear. Like, and that fear creates hate because you're afraid. Then you're afraid that government, something will happen to the government. They will tax you more, or something will happen to you. Something will happen on the highway. That's why when people are driving fast, it's like, hey, this guy would have hit me, or you start like, it's why do I create instead of hate? It's because I want to grow. So nothing grows from hate, and not just, it's just one thing, just one thing, but makes you not like everything. Hate is one thing, but when it comes to love, is I love doing things, visiting, traveling, enjoying, doing things, service, all these things come when it comes to love. But when it comes to hate, is one thing. Stop everything. You just freeze everything, and nothing's happened. That's what hate. That's why called. I was reading a book. It says Millionaire Mind. It says most people. He said most people don't grow because they hold resentments. When you see somebody have nice car, they key the car. They like scrub it. The kid, you come in, probably see the kid. Okay, then you start driving like everybody. But people shouldn't actually take it as a good thing. They take it as a bad thing because they hate. They say like, "Wow, this good car. Let me take picture with the car. Maybe one day I will have it." So that one creates what? He said like, "Okay, let me create that environment for myself because I have the car. Let me take the picture instead of envy something you already want." So love is greater than the love helps you to create. That's why you want to drive fast, people create highway. They want to go fast, they create cars, planes, all these things. These things come from, loving things. They want to connect better, but people may take it, oh, the old way may be better. They may hate the new one. That's what happens. The world keep going. So if you want to move with the world, you need to create than hate. So
You, thank you. I'm just like, I was nervous for nothing. I was nervous for nothing because, again, we're placed in spaces with people, and if you create instead of hate, you'll attract the right people,
yes,
right? And then build on your own, in your own lane, on your own dream. Someone said in their workplace there was a incentive, and there it was to go to the beach or go to wherever they were traveling, and the person said, I can't make my coworkers come back, and then they've gone and I haven't gone. So he put the picture in his work binder. So then he looked at it every day, and he ended up going. And it was like, yeah, that's the motivation we need, not the oh, I'm never gonna get it, and then like not even try. Even if he didn't get it, I think he'd still be all right if he gave it a good try.
for sure. It
So
gives you more, you're more relaxed when you're trying, not when you're afraid, when you're doing, it doesn't work, that's not your problem, but you did what you're supposed to do. You manifest it, you try to go, you plan it. If it doesn't work, let's say it rained in that day, you didn't go, but you felt you went because you planned for it. It's like you can go anytime because you planned it and you lay it down. So that's the thing that we cannot control things that happens, but we can control what we do, and most of the time it controls the outcome. That's why now when you're afraid, most of the time, a lot of people when they're afraid from work, they get fired, or they hate on the boss, they get fired. But some people, they're like happy to be there regardless how it is. Then if the environment is not serving you, don't hate, just leave, get something else. So it's like you can. There was a Jim Rohn says, if you don't like certain environment, a tree, move away.
you're not a tree.
Yeah,
Move away.
because you're not gonna get dry, but you came from somewhere, and he said you can still go somewhere else to find a place that you wanted to live, or you want to create your life on it. That's why you can't just be still and idle and things to change for you. That's why now the hate comes in when you stay too long in certain environment that you're not supposed to stay. And instead of you going away, you start hating the environment, which comes back to your life. That's why I tell most of my clients, do not hate your job until you find another one.
Because it's providing the yes.
Yes, it's providing the income. Do not hate your boss. Like if you're not your boss, who's gonna make everybody work on time? Who's gonna make if imagine everybody goes to break at the same time? We have no company.
No. If
So who's gonna pay the
everyone
rent? Who's
was
gonna pay the
great.
kids' bills? So it's that we have the things that we use. Instead of using it, we hate it. But I never had a problem with any boss that I had, and if I have, I leave right away.
Mhm.
I don't stay because I know if this is not for me, why should I scratch something? It's not bringing no heat, I just leave.
Yeah.
So let's create.
Yes. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to read why I started the Create Don't Hate show, and after I'm done, um, I'd ask if you can leave us with any thoughts that you may have, and also where anyone can reach you. So,
Well, yeah. So do you want me to read it now? Do you want to say it now?
yeah, I'm gonna say it now, and then you can say yours after I'm finished.
Beautiful. Let's go.
Create, Create Don't Hate was born out of frustration. The frustration of individuals hating on people like me with differences. I wanted to encourage a movement of hope, courage, and love, and build community and connection in the process. Create Don't Hate is a real practical way of giving hope to those who have been muted and shut down just because of who they are. Create Don't Hate is an anthem that I would play and continue to play to get through the tough times. So
All
if you
right,
could,
so it's me here, Isaac. I'm a financial professional based on Toronto. I'm licensed actually in 4 different provinces: in Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Ontario. I'm working my license towards US at the same time, and my office is on Highway 7 and 400 South. So if you guys want to reach me out, my number is 647-9707-484. Let's do it and let's help more families. Thank you, Natasha.
thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please comment why you decide to create instead of hate, and we'll see you later.
All right. Thank you.